Hey everyone, in this little video I'm going to teach you how to find the slope and how to find the y-intercept when all we know is 2 points. These are about as challenging as our problems get in chapter 6, and there's 2 distinct steps that you need to follow to do this and to write this equation in slope-intercept form. So let's say that all we know about this line is that it's passing through 2 points, 5, 2, and the line also passes through 7, -10. And our instruction would be write a line or write an equation for this line in slope-intercept form. So as I said before, we've got to do 2 things. The first thing we have to do is find the slope. Now, what I like to do before I find the slope is mark down my x1, y1, x2, y2 points. It makes it a little easier to keep straight, and so the first thing I want to do is find the slope. So the slope is y2, -10, minus y1, 2, over x2, 7, minus x1, 5. Slope formula, execute it, -10 minus 2 is -12, over 7 minus 5 is 2, -12 divided by 2 is -6. That is our slope. That's an important one. So if we look back here, y equals mx plus b is where we're going eventually. Now we know our slope is -6. So m is -6. So the slope is done. That's the kind of the most basic part. Now we need to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is a little bit more challenging here. It's going to involve a couple steps. And so we look back and we need to find b. We have 2 choices now. We need to use one of the 2 red points that we started off with at the beginning. And it doesn't matter whether we use this first point or the second point. Doesn't matter one bit. So the hint that we want to utilize is when you use the point that looks like it's going to be the easiest to work with. So we have 5, 2, and 7, -10. A good thing to remember is if you can avoid negatives, like that one right there, avoid it. I also like to choose the smaller numbers. So I see 5, 2 as being a point that's going to be a lot easier to work with. Again, it doesn't matter which one you pick, so I'm going to go with 5, 2. So come back over here for b. We know that our equation that we're going to be using here is y equals mx plus b. And the point from back over here that I wanted to use was 5, 2, so I'm just going to bring that point over here and copy down my 5, 2. Now in this point 5, 2, 5 is the x and 2 is the y. And we're going to take the x, 5, and we're going to put it right there. We're going to take the 2, y, and put it right there. So let me drop those new numbers in there. So we have, instead of y, 2 equals, now do we have an m value? Yes we do. We came over here, m was -6 right there, so we're going to use -6 for m. So -6. X now from our point, well that's 5, so times 5 plus b, we don't know, b is what we're trying to find. So time out, let's make sure we know where this came from. 2 is y, came from right there. -6 is m, came from the first part of this problem, and 5 is x, came from that part. Now we just have some simple arithmetic, and we want to solve for b. Shouldn't be too bad at this point. So PEMDAS says we got to do the multiplying first. So I have 2 equals, it's at -6 times 5 is -30, plus b. Now I've got to get rid of that -30 so that b is all by itself. I can do that by adding 30 to both sides. So plus 30, just a little one-step equation. 2 plus 30 is 32. 32 equals b. So now this is important. We have our y-intercept, which is b. Alright, so at this point we are almost done. Excuse me.
So all we need to do now is write the final equation.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. That was weird. So now we know what our slope is. We know what our y-intercept is. And we need to, excuse me, and our y equals mx plus b, final line, will read like this. Y equals, y and x just serve as placeholders, M we found out was negative 6. X is just there again as a placeholder, and our B was positive 32, so plus 32. So the whole takeaway from this whole process was to write this y equals negative 6x plus 32, and that's an equation that we can use for a whole litany of things that we'll be learning about later on in Chapter 6 and actually the latter part of algebra.